no watch, so this cannot be a proper Murdoch Music Minute video. In fact, this is a response, an entry to a little competition from Gordon's channel, I Dig Vinyl. A shout out to the whole VC community, though I wouldn't consider my channel to be pure VC. The reason for that being that my actual vinyl collection isn't that big at this point in time. When this video comes out, Gordon probably has beaten me to pulp in the semi-final of the VC Music Quiz, and at the same time will have released me from appearing in that really stressful contest. So yeah, I'll take the opportunity and add one more entry to his push to 500 subs. At least 500 subs. It's a crime that he hasn't already reached them, actually. And the idea is that, yeah, all the nerdy VC, or let's call them more widely, music channels, spread the word about his channel, I Dig Vinyl, and present their respective fantasy summer festival lineup, or fantasy festival. I'm not sure it has to be in summer, but let's pretend it's going to be summer, in at least here in Vienna. So the lineup can be from any era, any style, bands that are current, and as well as bands that are no longer existing, even bringing back legendary musicians from the past. So as mentioned, my vinyl collection is not as big, so that probably doesn't really qualify me as a VC channel, and I rarely refer to my own channel as Vinyl Community. So my lineup, the challenge here was to come up with a lineup that I would really love to see. And to play it fair, I mean, I could have also cheated and shown a lot of CDs. That would have made my lineup search a lot easier. But to play it fair for this entry here, I really stick to vinyl. So, to keep up the really lame alliteration gags that my channel is based on, I of course had to come up with a festival name based on the letter M, and the best thing I could quickly come up with was Murdoch's Mental Meltdown Festival. It's going to take place in Vienna in a venue called the Arena, the only proper venue I could think of for this kind of festival in Vienna. We don't have that many good venues for rock, indie, or more alternative styles, let alone open air venues. And the Arena comes with a bit of history. It dates back to the 70s, when there were, kind of artists and activists who occupied an old slaughterhouse, so a meat factory, to hold concerts. That old factory was meant to be demolished, and there was a project started, activists that wanted to have this area, the original Arena, as a venue for concerts, or just a venue for different artistic activities, more underground art. This was also the starting point, an important starting point for a lot of, at least in Austria, famous musicians, Austrian pop and rock music in the 70s and 80s. It didn't really work out. The original Arena was sold or demolished after all, but the city of Vienna realized, okay, there is a demand here from, the younger population to have a space for this kind of music. So the activists, the project, and the city of Vienna agreed to make a different factory area available, and that's today's Arena. It still exists. It has a bit of a rough factory charm, which I think will fit my festival. but it also has a bigger outdoor stage, and that's where my festival is going to take place. In an ideal world, it's going to be a free festival, but I will collect charity to support indie clubs, rock venues in Vienna, some of which have in recent years faced ridiculous problems from neighbors, tenants living nearby those venues, suing the venues for being too loud at night. So that's the status of rock and pop stages in Vienna in the 21st century. It's a bit ridiculous. I think the situation has relaxed now, but still, I think Vienna needs better policies for concert halls, for venues that can host, let's say, more modern and a bit noisier concerts, as opposed to the well-established and traditional concert halls for classical music and jazz music. So, my festival is going to be at least relatively noisy, and since it's going to take place in Vienna, I thought, as a warm-up act, why not have a band from Austria, more precisely from Vienna itself, the fabulous Danes, featuring a good friend of mine with whom I used to play in a 60s inspired band. Unfortunately, we disbanded for various reasons, but he's going strong with the fabulous Danes, and this is their vinyl EP 6 Off the Cuff, referring to the 6 tracks on this EP. They are playing mostly originals, but all in the style of 60s rhythm and blues, rock and roll, also a bit of mod inspired garage rock. Really a fun band, especially live. I've seen them 2 or 3 times now, and they are getting better each time I see them. So they are going to warm up the crowd, set the tone maybe a little bit for this festival. And if the band members knew who else is in the lineup, they'd be shiting their pants. The fabulous Danes. And the first really big major act to enter the stage will be quite a special thing, at least for fans of psychedelic rock, garage rock from the 60s. The Pretty Things. In their, let's say, 1967, 1968 lineup, you will realize that this is not one of their classic albums. This is the, I think, second to last or even the final studio album they released. Title is a bit of a mouthful. The Sweet Pretty Things, and in brackets, are in bed now, of course. And I'm showing this album because I have to brag a little bit. This is a signed copy from the, I guess, last European tour they did before the untimely passing of frontman Phil May. And the then active lineup kindly signed my copy of this album, on which they go back a little bit to their more psychedelic rock sound. So the Pretty Things will do a set of some of their early rhythm and blues rock classics, and then of course all the wild psychedelic rock nuggets that they've released, and maybe also a few of their stronger songs from latter day albums. And that will hopefully build a bridge to one of the younger artists to appear at Murdoch's Mental Meltdown. And that's from California, Ty Segall. This is one of his creepier album covers, record sleeves. Ty Segall, DIY garage punk in the early days. He's done some fantastic fuss-heavy neo-psych rock, but also garage punk, and also some more acoustic singer-songwriter albums. Most of them are really recommended, and he also will do, hopefully, an eclectic run through his wide discography, backed up by a band that's going to be on fire, and this will make the crowds go crazy and hopefully also spend more charity. To then enjoy, after maybe a bit of a break, maybe the outlier on my festival, since they are more from the new wave art punk era, but they also have done a fair share of psychedelic sounds, reunited exclusively for this festival in their lineup, in their most popular lineup, the years 1979 to 82, from Swindon. XTC are going to play a couple of their fantastic classic singles, but also some deeper album tracks from the years 1977 to 1982, but hopefully also will squeeze in some material from their Dukes of Stratosphere albums. So the albums they recorded under an alias, where they successfully presented their version of really authentically sounding late 60s psych pop and psych rock. And that's the bridge, for the next act. From Australia, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, and they're going to play really eclectic sets, trying to incorporate all of the different styles, but most of all, of course, their heavy psych rock, maybe also a little bit of their electro pop and their metal material. That's going to be an absolute corker of a set, absolute fun, crowd interaction. To then get ready for the final act. Well, sort of the headliner, I guess. Another special appearance, louder than anything else that night, Iggy Pop and the Stooges. All members of the Stooges, all the various members will take turns, and the band will play all the great highlights from their first 3 albums. And rumors are, running around that maybe there will be a little cameo, a little guest appearance from David Bowie as the highlights of the set, and they might perform 1 or 2 tracks together. The Passenger and China Girl or Lust for Life, for example. So Iggy Pop and David Bowie sharing the stage, but backed up by the Stooges. I would love to see that. Festival will be free, as mentioned, but in order to not have the masses flood the area, which is not too big, people will have the possibility or the opportunity to register for their tickets online. So you get a registry code, and then you will be enabled to get as much as, let's say, 3 tickets per registry code or per person, so that not a handful of people simply get all the tickets and then maybe sell them. And to also make this not as easy for the digital crowd, 50% of the tickets will be available online, and the other 50% will only be available if you pick them up in selected record shops around Vienna. So you get your registry code online, and then you can get either up to 3 tickets from the online stock of tickets, or you pick up to 3 tickets in person from a record store. And it's going to be an absolute disaster, I guess, economically, so never let me curate a festival. Also, as an afterthought, there will be, already when the festival is announced, there will be an outcry from the press and from various groupings criticizing, and rightfully criticizing, that there is not a single female artist involved in the lineup. So, of course, there already will be pressure to rectify that and to have Murdoch's Mental Meltdown #2 the year after. So that's how you make headlines, and how maybe the second festival will even be promoted and sponsored by the city of Vienna. I hope you had a little bit of fun with this Mental Meltdown. Thanks to Gordon for this fun opportunity. Check out his channel. It's fantastic. It's great fun, and you get a lovely Scottish accent in all of his videos. Thank you.